What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be ranking every single map in Five Nights Hunted. Make sure to like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into it. So first we got Lizz Funland. Lizz Funland is like one of the more rarer maps, since most players don't usually pick it, which is actually kind of surprising, as it's one of the most survivor sided maps in the game, at least to me, in my opinion. Because first, the map is massive, making it hard for the killer to find survivors. Second, even though it's outdoor, the map is outdoor, which most outdoor maps you would figure, oh, it's outdoor, they can find the survivor easier because they're not in a building, it's not an indoor map. But this actually doesn't help the killer at all, as there's fences and random Ferris wheels and clown tents everywhere that it literally blocks the vision. It's kind of hard to find survivors, and it's a pretty big map, like I said. So it also has a lot of strong loops. There's so many loops where it favors the survivor, and it's almost very hard to get to them. It has one god loop where you cannot get to it has multiple god loops where you can't get to the survivor unless you have a perk Sugar Crash. So the terminal placements are in safe spots where if the killer tries to get the survivor, they'll be able to run away and get to a loop before they can get to him. Not all the terminals, but most of them, and the exits are very far apart. So I think this is probably one of the most extremely overpowered survivor-sided maps in the game. So yeah, on to the next one. Next, we got Fazbears Pizzeria, the classic map, obviously. This map isn't as huge as Lizz Funland, but it's also not as small as a map let's say, Apttons House. So it's a very good middle ground. Survivors have a lot of good vents to work with, but killers can get very strong ball pit placements too. The terminal locations vary. Some are good, some are very good for survivors, as they're very safe, and if a killer tries to get you, you'll be able to make it to a loop. But a lot of them are extremely killer sided, where if you're in that room and you're trying to do that terminal and the killer goes over there, they get a free hit automatically, as you're not going to be able to go anywhere. So I think Fazbears Pizzeria, the only thing is bro, the loops are very good, but also the ball pits and the terminal placements are very good for the killer, while the loops are very good for the survivor. So overall, I think it's a mixed bag. I think there's pros and cons for each side on this map, and I say overall this map is pretty balanced, which I know a lot of people might be like, what? Balance? What are you talking about? But hey, look, that's just what I think, though. Like I said, this video is my opinion. Alright, next we got Warehouse 87. Warehouse 87 is an interesting one, as like I said on Lizz's Funhouse, there's some god vents on this map. Or actually, it's pretty much only one god vent, where if they use it, you literally cannot do anything to them unless you have Sugar Crash. But even then, unless you're a Nightmare Chica, you can only get a hit on them. You're not going to be able to injure them with Sugar Crash. I mean, you're not going to be able to down them with Sugar Crash. So, yeah, the terminal placements are pretty decent. Not bad, not good for each side. Pretty balanced. And then the size of the map is, it's small enough where survivors can find terminals easily. But it's not, small where killers can track them easy. Killers still have a hard time finding survivors on this map, probably. Not, hard time. But it can be pretty challenging. So but here's the thing, you might be like, well, everything you just listed is something that is survivor sided, so what makes this map not extremely survivor sided? Well, the ball pits, bro. The ball pits on this map are crazy. They literally have the best ball pits on this map. They have this one ball pit that I like to call the God ball pit. It's in the corner of the map. Dude, if you get a survivor there, you might as well win the match, because they cannot do anything. So yeah, overall, I'm going to say it's survivor sided, but hey, it does have a lot of good ball pits for killers. So, killers, watch out. Next, we got Apttons House. A lot of people say that it's one of the most balanced maps in the game. Or I'm not going to say a lot of people. I'm not going to lie. I say a lot of, nobody, only one person has said that, and it was in a Roblox chat. They were like, y'all don't like Apttons House? It's the most balanced map in the game. I don't know if that's what actually people think. Y'all tell me in the comments, but I'm not going to lie. I think it's definitely a killer-sided map. Not too heavily, but it's definitely killer sided. The terminal placements can be brutal, bro. It's so easy to 2-terminal yourself or 2-gen yourself if you play DVD. The ball pits are placed where favors camping. There's that one ball pit that's he can just stand on top of the balcony, and if you try to save them, they go down there and hit you. The ball pits are so good for the killer on this map. The only thing that makes it not extremely killer sided is for the fact that there's a bunch of god loops on this map, those 2 bedrooms connecting. that vent is crazy. The grass hedges by the what's it called, the little shack, those grass hedges, that's an infinite. You can't do anything about that. So the loops are very, very good, which is what makes it not extremely killer sided. But overall, I'm gonna say this map is killer sided. Next, we got Camp Fazbear. This is another rare picked map. Like, not a lot of people pick this. Camp Fazbear and Lizz Funland is the two most, I say, like, rare unpicked maps in the game. I think Camp Fazbear deserves a lot more love because I think it's a pretty good map. The bushes allow the survivors to hide very well, unless they're injured, of course, because then you'll hear the like, bro, I wish they would like do a perk that removes that, because I hate hearing that noise. Not as killer, I love it, but as survivor, because it's like, bro, they can hear me across the map. Whatever, that's a topic for a different video. The darkness also favors like black avatars, like those people that like to use all black avatars. Like, you can literally hide so clear in this map. The terminals are usually in like safe spots inside the cabin, where if a killer finds you, you can just go into the vent and go out of it. So the terminals are very good for survivors. And there's usually always a cabin that has a vent nearby. So it's a very, very open map too. That's what this is what makes it not extremely survivor sided. It's for the fact that, bro, the map is so open that if you're caught in the open somewhere, you literally are just dead. You're not gonna be able to make it to a cabin in time. And even if you do make it towards a cabin in time, bro, some of the cabins are like straight doo doo, bro. Like, they have trash vents. Like, you're not gonna be able to make it far. You're gonna be able to, like, let's say, stall for like maybe like 5 or 6 more seconds. They do have some very good cabins, like where you have to leave the chase. That's how good it is. But it's only like 2 cabins. The rest of the cabins are straight buns, bro. So overall, I say this is a pretty balanced map. On to the next one. Next, we got Nightmare Productions. Come on, everybody knows about this map, bro. This is a survivor-sided map, but because like it literally has some of the best god loops, insane loops, infinites in the game. Like, you can literally loop the killer for ages on this map. But here's the thing, alright? I'm gonna give the killer some credit, because this map also has some very strong ball pits and risky terminals. Most of the ball pits on this map are excellent for the killer. It's very easy to camp it, and you'll be able to like get a survivor before they can get to it. And it's just, the ball pits are very good for killers. The terminal placements, there's some like just normal placements where they'll be able to run, like the one in the theater. But bro, I'm not gonna lie, I think this map right here has a lot of like killer based terminals, where if a survivor is working on that terminal and a killer walks into the room, it's literally a free down. I know y'all know which room I'm talking about, that giant tall room with all the Chica animatronic statues. If a survivor is working on that and you walk into there, it's literally a free down, especially if you have your abilities. So I would say this is very survivor sided if the if the ball pits and terminals weren't so good. So because of that, I say this is survivor sided. Like, if the straw, I mean, not, hold on, wait, what am I trying to say? My bad, I had to think for a second. What I was trying to say, if the loops weren't so like good for survivors, like the god loops and stuff, it'd be a pretty balanced map. But because of that, I'd rank this as survivor sided. And then we got FazFun Pier. I'm like, bro, this map, let's be real, bro, this is the most killer-sided map in the game. It sucks for survivors. It's small. The terminals are so clumped up together that it's so easy to two-terminal yourself or two-gen yourself. I know you've been two-gen on this map at least one time before, bro. It always happens. Killers can find survivors so easy on this map. The ball pits make rescuing a nightmare, as if a killer, like, downs somebody across the map, one of the survivors are going to have to go all the way over there to do it, and the killer can just go back to the other side and, like, you know, put pressure while everybody's having to move to the other side to go rescue that person. The only slight saving grace is that the loops are pretty good. They're alright. There's some, like, there's no terrible loops. No, actually, no, the one by the bathroom is pretty bad. But it's like average loops, not bad, not good. And then the exits are like very far away, far apart, like most maps. But this map is still very killer dominant. I don't care what nobody says. Alright, so final thoughts. That's every map in Five Nights Hunted currently. There's probably going to be new maps, so I might make a new one when another one comes out. Like, the next two, I might make one. But tell me if you agree or disagree in the comments. I'm always I'm always open to hearing different takes. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and please drop a like and sub. Thank you for the support. I'll see you next time.